Take 3. Hello, fellow urban sketchers. I'm here to announce the official plan for the Urban Sketchers show that we will have at the Brickbottom Artist Building's gallery that will take place from the end of May through the end of June of 2021. And I'm hoping that all of you will participate in some way, and some people, it's up to you, I'm not going to make the decision, but some people can participate in a lot of ways. But let's hope everyone will at least be able to put one thing in, and people might also be able to put dozens of things in. So let me stop this part of the video and I will talk about the other parts. Hello. So the gallery is set up. I'm planning the gallery to be set up in a couple of different ways. And there's a small room in the gallery that has 3.5 walls, more or less, square walls, maybe 12 by 12 feet. So I'm just going to draw them like this. I'm flattening them out in perspective. The other half wall is here, but you'll walk into the small room of the gallery, which is essentially a cube. And I want each of these walls to contain one of 3 places we've visited quite a lot in the past. One will be the interior Harvard Natural History Museum, so fossils and gems and anthropology exhibits and stuff. So this will have many of the drawings that we did, and I'm hoping that we'll have one piece or maybe a couple of pieces from each of you in this small room. You don't have to be in all 3 of these things, but one of them might be yours here. But you might have 2 here. Maybe there's 2 that we have of yours, or we have one here that you did, and one here that you did, and none here. But anyway, we'll participate as much as you want. So the Harvard Natural History Museum will be in the middle one. We've been there many times, and I'm sure that there's something or a couple of things you've done at that location that you really like. Over here, on this wall, we're going to do the public garden, because we've been there a number of times. P-U-B-L-I-C garden. And these locations were chosen by, sorry. I might be confused about this, but we'll see. There was one that I thought of, so maybe we have 4 walls. Anyway, public garden is here, so we've got the beautiful trees and the swan boats and the people and whatever it is that we are interested in will be here. On this wall so here we have sort of an interior thing. Here we have an exterior, beautiful, landscapey kind of thing, plant, heavy, we'll say, within a cityscape. And here we have the city. This is going to be Harvard Square. And this can include, I would think, the interior shots we've done in the Smith Center. It can contain the images we've drawn of Harvard Square. We could do a little tiny bit of wiggle room and include maybe some of the work we've done at the Fog. But I'm thinking this would represent the city. This represents, sort of object, interior, and objects. This represents, what we think of as being beautiful parkland. And these were chosen sort of because we've been here a number of times, each of these places. The one that I thought of, which maybe we can put on the small wall here, is we've been to the Chinatown gate a number of times. And the gate is a structure that's small, but it's outside and it's in a location. So some people drew the actual gate, you know, with the little lanterns swaying in the wind, and the lion and the other lion, you know, in the front, and the pagoda-like gate with all of the little tiles and stuff. Some people drew that, but other people drew the shoppers, and other people drew the thing. So it was sort of nice that most people drew this, and some people included it in a drawing of other things. With here, people were all over the place drawing birds, and some drawing bones, and some drawing bugs. And here it's quite all over the map too, and as is here. But this was the focused one. So anyway, I think that these four things can be in this small room. And the way I'm hoping to display work here and elsewhere in the gallery is things can be framed. You can have a sketch that you put in a frame, or you can we can just pin the sketch on the wall, or we can include the sketch in a sketchbook and have the sketchbook mounted and open to a particular page so people don't, you know, look through it if you don't want them to. And there could be also a way, you know, let's say we're at this location 3 times and you want to show 3 drawings or more than 3, you can get a large poster frame, and you could maybe make a collage of the 3 or 4 or 5 or how many drawings you want of this location. So that's how we're going to, or how I plan on showing the work in the small room. In addition to these group things, grouping of location, I'm going to print a large picture of us at one of these outings. So here will be, you know, all of us holding up our sketches, and in the background you see the Chinatown gate, or whatever, wherever we are. Again, the back room is meant to sort of show what it's like to be on one of these events. So again, the events, the things that you have to provide me at some point is drawings you've done of either Harvard Square, the Natural History Museum, the Public Garden, and the Chinatown Gate. And if you only have one thing from all of these, that's fine. If you have one from each of them, that's fine. If you have 10 from one, that's fine too. I can't guarantee I'm going to show everything, but I want to give us the opportunity to show as much as we like. So this is the small room. The large room, what I'm going to do is this. The large room has sort of two really long walls and one short wall, 2 short walls, sort of 2 long walls, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller walls. So there's a lot of room. We also have flat glass-covered cases, 3 of those that we can include actual sketchbooks open, but not touchable. They're secure and they're open. And so my plan for this room, the larger room, the walls anyway, I don't know about these things yet, is going to have each of you, all of you, even you're part of this, are going to bring in artwork that you really like from our events. Now, let's say none of these were your favorites, and you really loved the Mount Auburn Cemetery pictures and the ones we did on the Esplanade and maybe the ones we did at the public library. You can show those here. So each person will have a separate area. Now, some people don't need a big area. Some people might have just one picture. That's all they want to show. So I may take a number of people that have only 1 or 2 pictures that they want to show, and I may put them in little groupings that maybe make sense. Maybe they're landscapes, maybe they're all done in watercolor. I may want to organize them in some way. But let's say you do a lot of drawings and you want to show a lot of drawings and you want to take up a lot of room. We'll do the same thing here, except this is all of your work, and next to it is someone else's work. And who's going to be placed next to whom is my job and the gallery director's job. We'll try to make it fun and easy, but we want to make the entire show look good, and that's kind of hard to do when we all draw so differently and we all have such different sizes of the drawings we do. So, but that's not your concern. Your concern is to just bring in drawings that you really like, but only of places that we've been to. Hopefully, only places we've been to while on our group events. Now, let's say you are climbing the walls right now because of COVID, and you go out of the house and you go to the public garden, you do some beautiful drawings of the public garden, even though none of us are with you, because it's still part of, where we have been in the past. I think we can allow that to be considered. But if possible, it would be really nice if you can bring in work that we did while on our outings. So look through your sketchbooks, see what things you'd like to show, and we'll figure out what to include. Now, the last part of this is it would be really, 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 really good if the artwork that we showed were all original. And again, if you have a sketchbook that you want only to show this drawing, and maybe this drawing, I can have it open to those 2 drawings, and they could be mounted on the wall, not under glass, but somehow mounted on the wall, or they could be in these glass cases so no one can touch them and move them around. And we've got a lot of glass cases for that. You could also tear this page out of your book. Some people are happy to do that. Some people are very unhappy to do that. You could, if you wanted, and we've done this at a sketchbook show we did here earlier, we hung the sketchbook on a string and tied the string to, connected the string or wire to the pedestal or to the wall, and you're able to actually leaf through these things and see all of the sketches you did. We'd probably have, the one that you want shown marked in some way with a sticky note or something to get it back to that spot. You may have other things in your sketchbook, your schedule for your doctor's appointment or who knows what, that you don't want people to see. I can certainly understand that. So these books could be placed in these glass cases. Though I don't want to do this, I have done this in the past, and I may do this for people that no longer live here but want to be in the show, or people that visited us from a number of far-off states and countries for a couple of times, and I'd love to have them be part of the group, part of the exhibit too. If I get high-resolution images of your drawings, I can print them out on really nice paper, and only you and I would know that they're not real, because I do a pretty good job of printing, and I'll print a watercolor on watercolor paper so that it looks real. But it's a lot of work for me, and I'm happy to do it, but that is a possibility for some people who don't want to take it out of their sketchbook and for some reason don't want to show it here. But hopefully you will. It's quite fun. So another thing about this show is I do want to invite people that no longer live in Boston that were part of our group, like Mike Diakabura, and I'm trying to think of other people that were admins that I haven't seen in a while. And we also have people who visit us once in a while when they're visiting their family here in Boston, like David, who's from Israel. He's been for our meetups 3 or 4 times or more. I don't know. I remember 3 times. I haven't been there as many times as you have, but I'd like to have them to be part of this too. Ursula and Nono from Portugal. I'd like them to be included. So I may ask, if I don't know their contact information, maybe I'll ask people in the group to contact them for me and tell them about this show. I also want to include maybe a wall. Maybe this could be a wall that we have in the big gallery that just shows urban sketchers away from home. And it could include our going away. When I go to Minneapolis and Philadelphia, I meet up with the urban sketchers there and draw Minneapolis things. So I might show some of those. We also have people like David who visits us occasionally, and we have Nono, who was here for a while but not here any longer, but he might be willing to be part of this show too. And so, in addition to this, I would love to have a section of this wall be show examples of us. Not me personally, because I've never done it, but many of you have gone to the international symposiums. So I'd like to have that little section for that. So it could include your drawings you did when you were in Chicago or Amsterdam or wherever they were. The whole thing about this show is I really would love it to try to have the experience that we have when we go to these meetups. There's a social aspect, there's a camaraderie that we have, there's an excitement that we have about meeting up and doing these things. So I want the show to have that as sort of a look, a very casual look to it. I also would like all of the people that are participating, if you're participating in this section, where you have more than one piece that you did somewhere, not on this one, maybe that we won't have room for that, but I'd love to have each of us write up a short statement. It could be a sentence long or a paragraph or a page. But I want us to describe what it is about these events that we really like. And for me, the professional artist that draws for a living and has to draw what other people want, I like it because it's freeing. I get to draw what I want. But it's not that freeing because I'm put in a situation where I have to draw the south end. Like, why would I want to do that? Well, I wouldn't normally, but I'm there and I do, and I find things to draw, and I like that little tiny bit of constraint. So I'd try to put that into words that make sense, and you might do it for any other number of reasons. So I'd like to know what those reasons are, or what the experience is like for you. And maybe it is just social. You know, you draw at home all the time alone, but that's lonely, so you do this with us because it gets you out of the house. That might be a reason. So the last part of this is the dates of the show will be the end of May through the end of June, somewhere about that. And I have no idea, no one knows what COVID's going to be doing there. We do have a gallery. It will be open to the public, whether it will be open to the public in a limited way or whether it will be open, completely open, and we're all together and breathing on each other, close 6 inches away from each other rather than 6 feet. I don't know. But it will be open to the public in some way, so you can see it, your friends can see it, your family can see it. I'd like to send out a press release so people understand about it in the outside world. And we're going to proceed as if COVID will be all done by then. It won't be, I'm sure, but we can tone it down if we have to. So your job right now is to go through your sketchbooks and pick images that you want to show. And again, they don't have to include the ones for the back room, but they can. You don't have to be back here if you don't want to. You could just always all be in the front. You can just have one piece back here and none of them in here. Just put little post-it notes on the drawings you like. And then I will set up a time where I can start collecting these things. Or toward the time when the show is going to be put up, I will have you guys drop them off to me. Maybe we can set up a time where we have a meetup, maybe near Union Square or in Union Square that weekend, and where you can bring them and I'll be there and I'm close by, I can pick them up then. But I know that not all of us can make it to all of the meetings, so I will start collecting these things as soon as today, whenever I put this up. So I'll have my email address so you can contact me. I'm looking forward to this a lot. I've already framed hundreds, not hundreds. I've framed a lot of drawings. Most of them are in collage style, sort of matching how I draw in quantity at these events, small little drawings. Some drawings I do, look good all in a bunch, and other drawings I do look better when they're all alone. So I have things that I have selected to be in this show. Whether I can put everything in it or not, I don't know. I probably can't. But again, you can show one piece, you could show 10, you could show 50. Well, I want to have everyone show as much as they want. within reason. Okay? Oh, for those of you that do work on iPads, what I can do, I have an iPad that I can mount to the wall. I have a couple that I could mount to the wall, and they can contain only work that you did on your iPad. So you don't have to give me your iPad, and we don't have to print them out. I think sometimes seeing things on the iPad is really neat. So in printing them out, they seem less neat that way. So I've got that covered as well. So don't be afraid to want to do that. And because ones and zeros are cheap, you can include a lot of them. Hundreds, could be on one iPad. So we've got a way to make this work. Okay, thank you.